It is 12 o'clock. You are tuned to LION 93.9 FM for the midday news at 12. Compliment of the season to our Muslim brothers out there. Here are the main points. Buhari says 2023 polls in line with his pledge of free, fair elections legacy. Congratulate Muslims. Khan felicitates with Muslims on Eid al-Fitr celebration. Opposition parties move against APC, declare speakership bid. Heavy gunfire in Sudan as aid ceasefire calls ignored. We bring you details of these news items and more after this short break. Please stay tuned. And now the news in full. President Muhammadu Buhari has called his administration's eye in the just concluded elections in the country, enthusing that the elections were so transparent that some members of his party, the All Progressive Congress, were routed and unseated. The president said that at no point did he interfere with the process in order to give unfair advantage to anyone. These were contained in his Salah message, which was made available to journalists by Senior Special Assistants on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, on Thursday night. President Buhari said that a peaceful outcome of the 2023 general elections will go down on record as one of the proudest achievements of his administration, in addition to his neutrality in the conduct of the elections. In his goodwill message to Muslims on the occasion of Eid al-Fitr celebration to mark the end of the 30-day Ramadan fasting season, President Muhammadu Buhari explained that the outcomes of the elections were in line with my pledge to leave a legacy of free and fair elections. On the Ramadan fast, President Muhammadu Buhari congratulated Muslims on successful completing these demanding spiritual obligations. The Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has urged Muslims in the state not to jettison the virtue of love and sacrifice the holy month of Ramadan teaches. The governor, in a message issued by his spokesperson Olawale Rashid, felicitating with Muslims on the celebration of the 2023 Eid al-Fitr, charged the faithful to continue to live with love, sacrifice, and piety as they did throughout the holy month. In line with the teachings of the Quran and Holy Prophet Muhammad, the governor urged residents of the state to live with tolerance with all, both Muslims and non-Muslims. He charged them to pray for peace in Osun State, pray for its development, and cooperate with the present administration in the state to deliver developmental projects of the benefit of the teeming populace. NESA Action, a civil society organization focused on promoting good governance and democratic values, has called on all relevant stakeholders in the electoral process to work together to ensure the implementation of the electoral legal framework, particularly as it relates to the independence of the Independent National Electoral Commission. In a powerful speech at the Your Vote Matters Project report presentation in Abuja on Thursday, Eniola Cole, the executive director of NESA Action, highlighted the importance of ensuring that INEC is financially independent in order to carry out its duties effectively and without outside influence. Cole also stressed the need for civil societies to take the lead in monitoring and tracking election budgets to ensure that resources are allocated appropriately and used transparently. He asked the INEC should maintain its institutionalized independence in ensuring that gains from the electoral legal framework, specifically the 2022 Electoral Act, are not circumvented by politicians. In addition to advocating for greater independence for INEC, Cole also made several other recommendations aimed at strengthening the electoral process, including the need for greater transparency in elections and the need for data aggregation through a commitment to the infusion of technology in the electoral process. An Abuja High Court has scheduled ruling on the preliminary objection by suspended chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, against the suit challenging his continued stay in office for May 12. Justice Amsa Muhasu chose the date yesterday after taking arguments from lawyers to parties in the suit. The court, upon an ex parte application on April 5, restrained Abure Farouk Ibrahim, National Secretary Olushi Opara, National Treasurer Clement Ojukwu, and the National Organizing Secretary from further parading themselves as party officials. On April 17, Justice Muhazu declined a request to vacate the interim order restraining the officials from further parading themselves as the party's national officers. We continue with this news item after this short break. Please stay tuned. If you are just tuning in, you are tuned to LION 93.9 FM Midday News at 12, and the news continues. The Christian Association of Nigeria has joined Muslim brothers and sisters in Nigeria and around the world to celebrate the Eid al-Fitr festival, which marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan. This was contained in a statement signed by the president of CAN, Archbishop Daniel Hoko, on Friday. Hoko said Ramadan was a time of self-reflection and a renewed commitment to living a life of piety and peace, adding that Islam and Christianity share a lot of good virtues in common. The Christian leader said Islam and Christianity share a lot of good virtues in common, and we must use our understanding of the holy books to promote inclusivity and work towards building a more tolerant and egalitarian society for us to all. The coalition of members-elect of the House of Representatives in the minority parties has finally declared their bid for the office of the Speaker in the 10th National Assembly. Arising from the closed-door meeting in Abuja on Thursday night, the minority caucus stated it was out to contest the speakership seat with the All Progressive Congress, claiming that the ruling party has lost its majority status in the 10th House of after the supplementary 2023 general elections. A prominent member of the House and the People's Democratic Party, who does not want to be mentioned, forwarded the resolutions reached at the meeting on Thursday night. According to the source, already there are permutations to promote a speakership candidate from the South-South geopolitical zone and a deputy speaker from the Northwest. The opposition lawmakers argued that the 1999 Constitution imbues every elected member with the statutory right to gun for any position, subject to the standing orders of the House. And now to foreign news. As Sudan's warring forces battled on Friday with heavy gunfire and explosions in the capital Khartoum and elsewhere in the country, as they ignored a peace by world powers for an end of Ramadan ceasefire, both United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres and U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken called for separately for a ceasefire of at least 3 days to mark the Eid as explosions and gunfire resounded in Khartoum. More than 300 people have been killed until Sudan Army Chief Abdel Fattah or al-Burhan and his deputy Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, the commander of the powerful paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, who is commonly known as Emeti. The Central Committee of the Sudan doctors said that overnight, as the Eid al-Fitr celebration marking the end of the Muslim Ramadan month of fasting began, several areas of Khartoum were bombed and reported shelling and clashes for the 6th straight night. Khartoum has seen some of the fiercest fighting, with an airstrike and tanks firing in densely packed districts, with most of its 5 million people sheltering at home.